continue the chapter. We ended till pollinating agent of abiotic factors. Broadly, pollination is classified into abiotic and biotic agents, and we ended with abiotic agents. Now we'll start with biotic agents. First of all is pollination by insects, or another name of pollination by insects is entomophily. When pollination is done through insects, which is biotic, which is living, biotic factors are known as living agents. When pollination by agents, then another name given is entomophily. Now entomophily occurs in jasmine, rose and cestrum. You have to learn the examples, because examples will be asked like entomophily occurs in which plants, such as jasmine, rose and cestrum. The adaptations of such plants are they are large and brightly colored. The flowers of jasmine, rose and cestrum, in which pollination occurs by entomophily. So the adaptations in this flowers are they are large and brightly colored. Then the next is they have sweet odor, so that they can attract insects. Sweet odor, or we can say nectar, which attracts insects towards them, that will lead pollination. Then the next is pollen grains are spiny and surrounded by yellow sticky substance. Pollen grains are spiny because spiny plus yellow sticky substance, because they have to stick on the legs of the insects, so that it leads to pollination and gives another offspring. Therefore they have spiny and yellow sticky substance. Now there are special mechanism in some plants, such as an example is given salvia. A plant named as salvia have a special mechanism which leads to pollination of insects. In such mechanism, the name is given as lever mechanism or turnpike mechanism. Now this mechanism has a special feature, like with the plant salvia, the stamen part have developed itself into a lever mechanism which leads to पॉलिनेशन. एक ऐसा प्लांट जो है साल्विया, वो खुद को ऐसा डेवलप किया है उसने एक पाइप के स्ट्रक्चर में, जहाँ पर पोलन ग्रेन स्टिक होते हैं द एंथर और फिलामेंट के बीच में, जो कनेक्टिव है, जहाँ पर स्टिग्मा का कनेक्टिव है, वहाँ पर एक टर्न पाइप और लीवर मैकेनिज्म जैसा स्ट्रक्चर बनाए, जिससे क्या करते हैं ये लोग पोलन ग्रेन्स को दूसरे प्लांट के ऊपर, दूसरे फ्लावर में जब उनको पॉलिनेशन करना है, तो वो खुद को उस हिसाब से लाइक दूसरे प्लांट पर जाना चाहिए वो पोलन ग्रेन में, जहाँ पर कनेक्टिव होता है हमारा स्टैमिन का, वो कनेक्टिव के पास पर एक ऐसा अडेप्टेड मैकेनिज्म है जिसको लीवर मैकेनिज्म बोलते हैं. वो क्या करेगा, पोलन ग्रेन्स को पुश करेगा आगे, सो दैट इट कैन lead to pollination in another flower. So this mechanism is called as lever mechanism or turnpike mechanism, which is present in salvia, a special mechanism which is present in only salvia. Now the next pollination is by bats. It is also called as chiropterophily. The pollination by bats is given another name, that is chiropterophily. Now, bats can transfer pollen grains till several kilometers. The pollen grains can stick to the legs and it can be travelled till several kilometers. Now, adaptation in such flowers are, the flowers will be dull, produces edible pollen grains. Now, this is the main point which is important to note, that they produces edible pollen grains. The pollen grains that are produced, that are pollinated by bats, produces edible pollen grains. Now, the plants which produces edible pollen grains, the best example are Anthocephalus, Adansonia and Kigelia. These three you have to remember: Anthocephalus, Adansonia and Kigelia. These three plants, these three flowers produces edible pollen grains. Edible in the sense they can be eaten. They are like, they doesn't produce any toxic or any hazardous substance, so therefore they are edible. Anthocephalus, Adansonia and Kigelia. Now this mechanism which involves co-evolved physics. Now what is co-evolving? I'm talking about like involving of abiotic factors and involvement of biotic factors, living agents, non-living agents, flowers. This co-evolved physics, that insects are involved, flowers are involved, and both are helping each other for the process of pollination, the process of offspring. This co-evolved physics is called as pollination syndrome. pollination syndrome is called as the co-evolved physics, the involvement of bats, the involvement of living agents, the involvement of non-living agents, flowers, and they are helping each other. They are co-evolved in both. Therefore, this process is called as pollination syndrome. Now the next biotic agent of pollination, that is pollination by birds, and the another name given is ornithophilia. Pollination of birds, another name given is ornithophilia. When pollination takes place by birds, it is called as ornithophilia. Now, pollinating birds are of specific features. Pollinating birds have long beak and small size. Pollinating birds have specific features such as they have long beak and they have small size. Now, the best example of pollinating birds are sunbirds and hummingbirds. You have to remember that pollinating birds are sunbirds and hummingbirds. And ornithophilous plants are bombyx and callistemon. Pollinating birds are sunbirds and hummingbirds. Ornithophilous plants are bombyx and callistemon. You have to remember the examples. And pollinating birds have special features such as they have long beak and they have small size. Now the adaptations that are in ornithophilous plants are they are brightly colored. Then the next, pollen grains are sticky, obviously, so that they can stick on birds' legs and it will lead to pollination. They have dilute nectar. Dilute nectar in the sense it has low concentration of nectar in it, and they are generally without fragrance. Now, because they are generally without fragrance, because the reason is birds have poor sense of smell. Therefore, they have less fragrance and diluted nectar because birds have poor sense of smell. So there's no use of fragrance over there that will attract the birds or anything like that. So they have poor sense of smell. They are without fragrance. They have dilute nectar, and the pollen grains are sticky, so that birds' legs can be stick to the pollen grains, and they are brightly colored. Ornithophilous plants are bombyx and callistemon. Sunbirds and hummingbirds are the best example of pollinating birds, and the features of pollinating birds are they have long beak and small size. Now we're going to study some terms which includes an autogamy. Autogamy is nothing but self-pollination. Another name is autogamy. Now the first term is chasmogynous. Now chasmogynous, when flower opens to expose its sex organs, it is called as chasmogynous. When a flower opens to gives it style, stigma, ovary, like that. When it opens to show its sex organs for the process of pollination, this point is called as chasmogynous flower or the chasmogynous state. Now the next is homogamy. When anther and stigma becomes mature at the same time, when the anther and stigma for the process of pollination becomes mature at the same time, it is called as homogamy. In autogamy, in self-pollination, there is a term which we are calling it as homogamy, in which anther and stigma becomes mature at the same time. It is called as homogamy. Now the next term, clistogamous. Now clistogamous is a state where some flowers are self-pollinated even before the opening of the flower. Such state when the flowers are self-pollinated even before the opening. When the flower is not open and still it is self-pollinated by themselves without opening the flower, this state is called as clistogamous. Now clistogamous flowers are never opened. The process of pollination in clistogamous flowers are never opened. The best example of clistogamous flowers are Commelina bengalensis. Clistogamous flower which are never opened when flowers are pollinated without opening. This plant or this flower, the best example of it is Commelina bengalensis. Now, the plants such as Viola, Commelina can produce both chasmogynous as well as clistogamous flowers on the same plant. You have to remember the examples. What I'm saying is plants like Viola, first one, and the second one is Commelina. These both plants can produce chasmogynous Chasmogamous is nothing but when the flower opens to expose its sex organs for the process of pollination, it is called as chasmogamous. And the next one is clistogamous. When some flowers are self-pollinated even before the opening of the flower, is called as clistogamous. Then the plants such as Viola, Camelina can produce both chasmogamous and clistogamous flowers on the same plant. Okay, these are some points involved in autogamy, which is self-pollinations. The first term is chasmogamous, the second homogamy, the third clistogamous, and some examples of plants such as Viola, Commelina can produce both chasmogamous as well as clistogamous flowers on the same plant. Now we'll study broadly the classification of pollination. As we ended with the topic of pollination, we'll just see a broad classification of pollination from the starting to the end. Now pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to stigma. Now the process of pollination is broadly classified into two aspects. The first one is self-pollination and the second one is cross-pollination. Self-pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma in the same flower or in the same plant. Now self-pollination is also divided into two aspects. The first one is autogamy and the second one is geitonogamy. Now the next is cross-pollination. Cross-pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of one flower to another flower. And cross-pollination itself is broadly classified into only one aspect. The name is xenogamy. Now, as I said, self-pollination is classified into two aspects. The first one I said is autogamy and the second one I said is geitonogamy. Now, autogamy. Autogamy is nothing but the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of same pollen grains within the same flower. The flower is not changed when the transfer of pollen grains is transferred from anther to stigma in the same flower, then it is called as autogamy. Now the next one, geitonogamy. When the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of one flower to another flower in the same plant. The thing is, it occurs in the same plant. Then it is called as geitonogamy. Now in cross-pollination, the transfer of pollen grains, we are calling it as xenogamy. The transfer of pollen grains from one flower to another flower, it is called as xenogamy. Now in self-pollination, autogamy and unitogamy gives same genetically identical offspring, and in cross-pollination, xenogamy gives different varied offsprings. They are genetically varied offsprings. This is the difference. Now, pollination agents. Now, pollination agents are broadly divided into two aspects. The first one is abiotic and the second one is biotic. Pollinating agents are broadly classified into two aspects. The first one is abiotic agents and biotic agents. Abiotic agents are those agents which are non-living, and biotic agents are those which are living agents. Now, biotic agents are of two types. The first one is the pollination which occurs by wind. Another name is anemophily. And the second one is pollination by water. Another name is hydrophily. Now the hydrophily itself is of two types. The first one is epihydrophily and the second one is hypohydrophily. Epihydrophily is nothing but when the pollination takes place above the surface of the water, it is called as epihydrophily. And hypohydrophily, when pollination occurs below the surface of the water, it is called as hypohydrophily. These are the two aspects of abiotic agents. The first one is wind and the second one is water. Now the next, biotic agents. Biotic agents are divided into three aspects. There are three types of agents in biotic agents. The first one is by insects. Pollination occurs by insects. Another name is entomophily. The second one is pollination by birds, and the another name given is ornithophily. And the third one is pollination by bats, which is another name given as chiropterophily. These are the agents, 5 agents of pollination which involves self-pollination, cross-pollination. Even I have discussed some terms which involves in self or autogamy, which is homogamy, clistogamy, chasmogamous flowers, the different types of species, liver, turnpike mechanism, all comes under pollination. This is broadly classification of pollination. When if in exam it is asked to give the self-pollination or cross pollination. You have to give the different detail of, like, if it asks for self pollination, you have to describe about autogamy, diatonogamy, and also the agents of abiotic and biotic agents. In agents of pollination, you also have to give the adaptations of flowers, the examples of flower. Now the homework is you have to give the example of self-autogamy, neonatogamy, xenogamy, by wind abiotic agents examples, hydrophily examples, entomophily examples, ornithophily examples, and chiropterophily examples. I just want the examples of each aspect of biotic, abiotic, self-pollination, and cross-pollination.